Well, ladies first, River City Girls 2 is now headed to the Nintendo Switch and PCs and basically every other console around summer this year. Developers of which WayForward just announced this in addition to another trailer and the premise of an all-new adventure with everything people loved from the first game. Check it out in case you missed this one.
Take control of one of 6 characters, including returning powerhouses Kyoko and Misako. Each character has their own fighting style and upgradable movesets, which you'll need as you set off on a new quest, picking up where the first game left off.
And when we say new, we mean it. New moves, enemies, areas, items, and a new soundtrack by the first game's composer, Megan McDuffie. Not to mention branching paths, as well as a return of a familiar foe. Get the fists flying solo, or team up with a friend, locally or online. What do you say, Paul? Ready to give some goons the old 1-2?
Oh, heck yeah!
Moving on, we have Midnight Fight Express, a mix of old-school brawlers and fast-paced motion-captured combat, or basically, well, in plain English, beat 'em up, in which you will battle on foot or on vehicles. Now, I think it's an interesting. To my knowledge, you can even level up and unlock stuff, giving it a dash of RPG style. So check it out. This one's coming to consoles and PCs around summer this year. Described as an irresponsible schoolgirl simulator, we have Detained, Too Good for School. What's primarily an action RPG, but a beat-em-up game in pretty much every single aspect. Now, Detained over here was actually announced some 6 months ago, with its Kickstarter still running for further stretch goals, but due out sometime this year, not sure when, and it is going to be a Steam exclusive. Check it out. I've actually mentioned this one a couple of days ago. Sifu is actually, right now, the single most hyped about martial arts brawler game, beat-em-up game, technically speaking. On the horizon, it now even has its own release date after being delayed multiple times. So in case you've missed out on, this game is gonna come out February 8th and into the PCs, the PlayStation 5 and also the PlayStation 4. And here's a new trailer in case you've missed this.
the prisoner. Fudo the weak.
Immortal and the death that follows, which I can't help but remember the Aeon Must Die game that was announced a little while ago, and by looks of it, is a roguelike side-scrolling beat-em-up, but its developers described it inspired by the 90s animes. Now this one's coming from a Japanese developer, which looks like a hell of a unique game, but there's a problem to this. You see, we're not getting our hands on this one anytime soon. In fact, it's gonna be quite a while up until late 2023, so just keep it in mind for now.
I'll be waiting.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge will the throwback old TMNT arcade fans have been waiting to have hands on for the past couple of years, technically speaking when the game was announced, now has a release window of mid-2022 and into basically every single platform. Now check this out, this game's being developed by Dotemu, which is one of the best teams out there right now with the addition of online co-op this time around. A pixel art beat-em-up game and a shooting game hybrid. Grand Exile is set to have its Kickstarter campaign come around actually in just a couple of weeks now, after being cooked in the oven for at least a year, I think. But looking damn fine and hella fun based on what I've gathered so far. Definitely one of the hits on the horizon. However, a release date for this one is just yet to be announced, so just keep it in mind for now. We have Jitsu Squad that actually hit the Kickstarter campaign like 2 years ago, technically speaking one of the real co-op brawlers on the horizon, compared to the many classic clones nowadays, and with some actual story, pretty hardcore as you can see and pretty familiar if you've ever played a beat 'em up anything before. Now check this out, this game is about a couple of months away from release and coming to PCs only. Have you ever enjoyed the Double Dragon game before? 80s, anyone? So yeah, basically Double Dragon game over here with a dash of gunplay, like the old Moby Dick game. Fading Afternoon, probably the one cool looking pixel art inspired beat 'em upper, is now coming in late this year and into PCs in addition to the Nintendo Switch. We have Down in the Dark, on the other hand. What's touted as a tough and uncompromising game in the modern version of beat-em-up genre, where you stand against enemies in hordes and you play as a police detective who one night wakes up to find out he's completely isolated from the outside world. Now check this out, this game is coming in only a few months and this is how it actually looks like. City of Rampage is also inspired by the classics such as the Streets of Rage and the one and only comic zone you'd be very much known about if you'd ever owned the Sega Genesis back 20ish years ago, and bringing all the old tough to beat game, cool soundtrack and co-op play to the mix just as any other decent beat 'em up game would do nowadays. Now check this out, this game is now coming in mid to later this year and into PCs only. Red Rust is a retro-style side-scrolling game which, as developers put it, uniquely combines fighting mechanics with shooting mechanics. This game is heavily inspired by the old 8 to 16-bit hits of the 90s though, being developed with modern players in mind. It's got some modern animations, as you can see, hand-drawn backgrounds, a variety of in-game situations and some powerful soundtracks, or at least well, they think so. Check it out, this game is coming to PCs only, November 21st. Comical beat-em-ups, on the other hand, if you've got a thing for, the comedy actions, technically speaking, then one that would support local and online multiplayer, we have what's called Dicey Crime. Traveler of Time with just the right amount of beat-em-up elements, actually even a bit more. I mean, I double-checked on this one, it's not a bad one at all, and the game's on its way to PCs, the Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation 4, and also the Xbox One sometime in October this year. Check this out.
This day started like any other.
You'll be judged for your sins.
No. A true nightmare.
Have you ever murdered someone? What? Answer the question.
We have Brock the Investigator, which is a narrative-driven beat-em-up and a puzzle game in portions, and even with an RPG level-up system to it with multiple endings and around 20 hours of gameplay. I think that's pretty much all you need to know about Brock over here. This game is also scheduled for sometime later this year and into basically all platforms. Check this out.
You're
Our creator left us after making us.
We dedicate our lives so that humanity can progress.
At 4:38, the record ending.
Who are you?
Good idea.
Wanna die?
Everyone has nightmares about it. That's why we're here to help. I mean, you got your bullies, your mean chicks, douchers, douche-ease, homework.
Last but not least, I don't know if this one's actually legit, but Nightmare Cops, which is a brawler game at heart, and probably the silliest beat-em-up game on the gaming scene as well, has its own Steam page now, rumored to be coming to consoles as well if things go well with it, late 2022 to early 2023. That's all.